everyone, today we are working on a Volkswagen CC. We're going to be doing brakes on it. So this is going to be a step-by-step guide on how to do it. And then we're going to break the bolts loose with a 17mm socket. Break the wheels loose. We're going to get the vehicle jacked up. Right there on the pinch weld. If you don't have a rubber pad, you can always use a wood block. It works both ways and you get fine. Once you get it lifted up with the wheel off, you can continue to zip the wheel off. We're going to be using a scan tool to get the parking brake into service mode. We're going to be using the 906 BT. It's one of my favorites because it's Bluetooth. It makes it very easy to service vehicles. Next, we're going to want to put the vehicle in the ignition position 2. Now we've got to make sure that the parking brake is off because it will not put it into service mode if the parking brake is on. And we're looking for the screen that says EPB, which is electronic parking brake. And then we're selecting our vehicle. And then we're going to select parking brake. And then we're going to do the EPB function. Press OK, and then just make sure that the vehicle battery is okay during communication. And then we're going to open the parking brake. And then we'll press start, and this is when you should listen for the calipers retracting right now. Once that's done, then we're just going to double check and see what the scan tool says. It says successful. So at this point we can turn off the vehicle and get started on the brake caliper. If you guys like more car videos like this, please subscribe. I am making more. What you're going to need is a 13mm socket or wrench, as well as a 15mm thin wrench to put on the inside. Next, we're going to start taking off the caliper bracket. What we're going to need for this is a M14 triple square socket. Something like this will do. You may need a ratchet that has an adjustable head so you can get past the strut. It is kind of a tight axis. And then once you break them loose, we're going to use an electric ratchet after. We don't want to just be wrenching away because it is a snug area, so we're just going to break them loose with the regular ratchet. And then go ahead with the electric. caliper bracket off, it's time to take the rotors off. You're going to need a T30 socket, preferably one that you can hammer a little bit, because sometimes the rotor bolts do get stuck in there, so you want to be careful not to strip it either. So maybe an impact driver would work really well. Did not need to use one on this. Next, we're going to put a lug nut back into the rotor because we're going to hit it with the hammer to pop it off. Now we're going to clean off the mating surface of the hub. Sometimes when there's rust buildup on it, it can cause excessive vibration on the rotor and other weird noises as well. So we're just going to clean it off thoroughly here. And once you reach the stopping point, don't keep forcing it. What I'm going to do is, once I get to the end, I twist it just a quarter turn back and leave it there. Now we're getting the new rotor on. We're going to torque it to 4 Newton meters on the bolt. Now we're going to clean the slide pins. We're going to do a little bit of grease. Don't do too much or too little. This is going to help prevent the calipers from seizing or wearing unevenly. We're trying to make them last long. And again, don't want too much or too little, as it'll actually be worse for the caliper. Just a light coat is just fine. bolts in by hand first, and then we're going to take the electric ratchet to zip them in. We're still going to torque them with a regular ratchet just to make the job a little quicker. Now we're going to torque them to 50 foot-pounds. Next, we're going to apply a little bit of grease just on the ends of the pads right there. Don't need to go too crazy with it, as well as also be mindful of getting any grease on the rotor. If you do get it on there, do clean it off. It's not going to make or break you, but definitely clean it off the rotor, as it will cause issues with the pad and the rotor itself. We're going to start by hand threading the bolts again. Then we're going to use our 15 and our 13 and torque it to 25 foot-pounds. Now that the calipers are put back together, we're going to put the vehicle in ignition 2, and we're going to go out of this test plan, and we're going to go to closing the parking brake right there. And then we're going to actuate this test plan, and then we're going to listen for it, make sure that they both go back into normal working mode. Now that we've verified that it's successful, we're going to get out of here, we're going to disconnect from the vehicle and then put the wheels back on. After we disconnect, we're going to pump the brake pedal several times, and then we'll check the fluid level. If you don't know what fluid your vehicle takes or has in it, it's just safe to just do .4 always. If you don't know if it has .3 or .4, just always put .4. Now that that's all done, we can start putting the wheel back on. I use a lug stud to make it easier to get the wheel line properly. After that, I'll put the wheel on and put the rest of the lug nuts in, and then once they're all in, I will pull the lug stud out and put the last lug nut in there. And then don't forget to torque the wheels, 89 foot-pounds. And again, star pattern. Put the cover back on. And then pump the brakes again. during the initial part of the test drive, do be a little safe with the brakes. Give yourself a little bit of distance. Give it a couple taps, and then perform the 30-30-30 rule. Don't forget to subscribe and turn your notification bell on.